Good morning, guys. Cryptogasm here for Cryptogasmic. Just want to do an update on BTC and the crypto world this morning for you all. All right, so let's get into it and have a look. So as you know, for over the last week, the way I've been playing Bitcoin is to watch it very closely. In stages, for those of you who took my signal, we entered around 6,600. About a week, 10 days ago. Right here, this was the point that we needed to find support. And if we broke down through this is basically the trend line for 2017 from the beginning of the year. So we really needed to keep the support here. As you can see, we fell really hard through the daily cloud for the first time all year, probably the first time in 2 years. So this was a pretty significant downward trend. And if we were going to keep the parabolic trend for 2017, this was a really, really important place to find support. So once we found support there and we moved up, this is where I placed the buys. And move up from there. So then what we had to do was clear some stages from there to either confirm continuation or fall through and possibly bleed all the way down to end the emotional cycle. So I've been asking you to watch this very cautiously, not to chase it, because it wouldn't be a surprise if we sort of came back up to this trend line and bled back down. Still is a possibility, but the signs are looking quite good now. So I'm quite bullish again on Bitcoin for now. Bullish, but cautious. So the next stage we needed to clear was, over the last couple of days we've been bouncing around. It was very important to open and close on the $8,000 mark. Which we managed to do. We managed to bounce out of that, and as every day sort of went on with that, it was a good confirmation of support, while the RSI and the MACD started building momentum. I said a few days ago back here, when the 6 hour had just turned on the bottom, the 12 hour at that stage was right on the bottom as well. So we were gaining momentum, and that analysis seems to be correct, which is good. And the positive thing that I can see here now is even on the MACD here, right, we've started to paint an upward trend for the first time. Now that doesn't mean we're out of the woods. As you can see, we did the same back here and then fell back through again. So we could do the same pattern and do that major fall back through. But step by step, we've hit the floor, we've finally crossed. So this is all very strong. Very strong. At the same time, the RSI was on the floor and we had just crossed, and you can see that the daily momentum that was down here has now really taken off. And now the 3-day is picking up on that daily momentum. So I personally see us getting through to our next mark. Now, we cleared another important stage today, which was open and closing a daily candle above the downward trend. So this is really important because obviously we have, let me get rid of this clown. We've cleared this downward trend for the first time since the 27th of January, where we stuck a head across and come back down. So again, we've got to make sure my analysis on the bottom line is still the same, that if we break back down here and fall through this 8,000 mark, I'll look to exit there, because that would be a sign of a continuation down. So this is the next level that we're looking for. So we've cleared that. Okay. So again, in stages. So the next point we're probably going to find support and resistance is here. Right in here where we accumulated and we turned this was resistance. So the next time we get here, we need to find support. So we're going to be looking at that 11,000 mark. I believe that's probably the next point that we're going to find support and resistance. You can see we're in an important area now as well. So we need to get the daily above an open and close of 8,764. So I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce along here for a day or two and then maybe in 3 days start to make our climb up to this level. Okay, I still wouldn't be chasing buying Bitcoin at the moment because we could easily still see, if it is a bit of a bull trap, we could easily see something like a bit of sideways and then a breakdown from there. So we're still not out of the woods yet. However, we are moving in a good direction. You can also see, if we put the cloud on, that this would be confluent with us reaching the bottom of the daily cloud, so this really could be the next area of resistance in here. So I do think over the next 3 days we're going to get up to this $11,000 mark again by chopping around. But I think we're going to get to here. And I think basically we need to get back on top of this cloud and above this trend line. So looking around about in here, the $15,000 mark. If we can start opening and closing above the 15,000 again and get on above this green, then our parabolic trend is going to continue. And at that point, let's look at some levels of where we could be possibly going there. So if this really is the bottom as well, okay, yeah, I think round about this line here, yeah, round about the $14,800, $15,000 mark is where we're gonna. That'll be the next point. And if we can clear and get above the green trend line for 2017 and continue on into 2018, that will continue the parabolic trend. And if that was the case, I can't see any reason why we wouldn't. We're probably going to find maybe some resistance up here and then come back down to the cloud and then hopefully continue on from there. So then we're going to come back and challenge these all-time highs. So this is really the target I'm looking for now. In here, this is our target for now, 18 to 19, if we can continue this trend. Okay, I also think that a good place to maybe look at taking some profit is if we get a little bit of a breakdown here at the 11,000 and come down, possibly a stop loss at around about this level here, 9,800, to go with this accumulation across here. And then if we break down, we can buy, and if we bounce, we can rebuy again. But this is I think we're going to come back and look at all-time highs, maybe over the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks' time, hopefully, if we can continue on. The other good signs are Bitcoin has obviously, its fees got really out of control. During December and January, it started to get to $40, $50, $60 a transaction. It was taking 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Obviously, everything against what Bitcoin was set out to be, and this was in the news. And I don't know what's happened, and I want to investigate it. And if anybody's got any news on it, I would really appreciate it. But the prices of Bitcoin, all of a sudden overnight, seem to have dropped. The processing time has become really fast again. So obviously, within SegWit and Lightning, they're getting their shit together there somehow. So if anybody's got any info on that, let me know. Let's have a look at some smaller time frames. So you can see we finally climbed out of the red cloud here, and we're finding support and we've now found that into a green cloud, and we've broken out of the green cloud on the hourly. So that's bullish as well. Obviously, a serious uptrend is now happening from our bottom down here. So this is all very, very good signs so far. And again, yeah, look, this is the level here. Sorry, let me just... So this is confluent with what I was just saying, around that 9.4. If we can get up, that's possibly a space where we might bounce back down to. So if we do get up, this is the place where I'll probably put my stop loss just below here, in here, which is still really good profit from $6,600, guys, nearly $3,000 a coin. Okay, so we've managed to do a good job in a downtrend. So that's basically what we're looking at for Bitcoin there. A couple of other good things on Bitcoin, if we go back to the daily, and check this out on the volume. I did mention this the other day, but this volume here, look at the amount of volume that went in on the daily here. This is the largest amount of volume that's come in on a daily since here, 2000, back in 2015. So, and back then the price was $473. So even at this price, this is the largest amount of volume that came in since 2015. So that's sort of telling me that this, if we are going to bleed down, this may be the bottom level of where we break down to again. But for now, it really seems that we might be continuing this parabolic trend. And I still do personally believe that we're looking at the $50,000 mark by the middle of the year, and then it'll probably go to 100,000 really, really fast. People will start taking mortgages, selling all this shit, taking loans. But it's weird the way the psychology of the market works, because what you'll find is a lot of people wanted the price to drop, and then everybody was too scared to buy it. And people seem to be more comfortable buying something up here once it's confirmed some kind of value. All the retail traders will start stepping in, and this will just push it up and up and up. So this really has been the tough time. And then all of a sudden, when the news starts saying, well, you know, Bitcoin has found a bottom at 8,000, it's bounced up, and then they remember that it went to 20,000, there's going to be that talk again about Bitcoin going from 8,000 back to 20,000, and people are going to want to jump in. They're going to want to chase it. All of a sudden, people are going to start paying 12,000, 14, 16. It's just the way the psychology works. So for those of you who jump back in there at 6.6 with me, fantastic. And the same way that I told you all not to panic, which I hope you listen to me, and even if you wanted to sell, don't sell at the bottom, that you will get a bounce back up. Same thing happens on the top. Don't chase it to the top, because it will meet resistance and it will fall somewhere. And that'll be the next point that we can grab it, which will probably be around about that 9,600 mark I was just talking about. I'm assuming we're going to get a bit of resistance there. We might get a bit of a fall, maybe back down to this trend line again once we get up to here. So that could be a good spot to rebuy again. We never chase the bottoms and we never chase the tops. All right. Let's have a quick look at Ethereum. I haven't looked at this yet today. This is the first time I've looked at it. So again, and this is why I really look at Bitcoin more than anything, because everything does tend to follow that. And if we continue on this journey, then I do really think over the next couple of days we're going to be able to look at some alts. Again, let me just look quickly at the market cap. Let's have a look, see what that's doing. So surprisingly, not a hell of a lot of money has come back into it. So that's telling me that maybe people are selling up some alts and going back into Bitcoin for whatever reason. But if we have a look here, everything's in the green. Only in small amounts. So this can easily turn back down around again. Ucash, 463%. Wow, look at that. Populous has hit rock bottom. It's the worst performing coin in the top 50 because of all the FUD. I had my PPT token stolen, as most of you know. So fuck them. Right, moving on. Yeah, but we're not back in that stage yet where things are going to make 100% trades and play out over 3 or 4 weeks until we've got this stability. So the stability does look like it's coming. Vertasium is the only one in the red that I can see, which is getting some pretty bad FUD at the moment. eCoin 270%, but everything's sort of between that 0 and 10% mark, which it can easily be down again tomorrow. So there you have it. We really, again, need to get this back up over $500 billion and continue on to that $1 trillion mark that we're all urging. So hopefully Ethereum, sorry, let's just finish on that one. So again, the daily is crossed and looking strong. It's basically following Bitcoin, but performing a little bit better. You can see here on the daily, it really held the cloud, whereas Bitcoin fell through it. It stayed way above the trend line here. Okay. And rather than finding resistance in the cloud, it seems to be finding support in the cloud here. So I really do think Ethereum will continue to perform. And again, it's going to come and retest the $1,000 mark again. So that's the point that that's an easy number to remember. That $1,000 mark up to 1,200. These are the points. My analysis is the same. I had a target of $1,500 from all the way back at 300 where we bought in and 200. So we did reach that target. I didn't take any out at that time because I thought maybe we would continue on. In hindsight, I probably should have trusted my analysis more and taken some money off the table here, and I could have rebought back in here. That would have been a really amazing smart play because we absolutely nailed my target, which I shifted. I think my first target was around here, and then I shifted it up to here, and that was from a buy from under $300. So from 300 to 1433 would have been great, and then to sell out even half, and then rebuy right back here at 720. And it's all there in the analysis, guys. So for people who say that it doesn't work, it does work. And to learn analysis is really, really, really important, guys. And it's a big part of my course and what we're doing. So we're going to get back up here and test this again. But I think our first point of resistance, we've got to break open and close above $1,000 on Ethereum. So we're watching for that. Same thing. If we get a breakdown back down into this trend line, this would probably be the point where I'd look to get out if we broke this trend. But I can't really see that happening unless something bad happens. Again, monumental amount of volume went in. A lot of volume went in here on that same time as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are the big players. Some of the other trades that we're in, I advised everybody to get in at Litecoin back at $140 again here. So we're still above there. I would be looking at the $200 mark to maybe take some profit off the table on Litecoin. What were the other trades that we took? XLM, which is held strong. We sent out the signal here for 4,000 sats. And I think we got in around about here, 41. So if you placed a stop loss at break even, you're still in the game, which is great. Let's have a look at a few. So again, we've just hit the bottom. We're just starting to turn on the daily. Let's see what the momentum is doing. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I don't think this one's going to be in a rush. And again, it's all going to depend on Bitcoin. So that's basically it, guys. That's the update for today. Everything's looking pretty good. The analysis is there. I'll see you all in the chat room. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.